Okay, so I have a few things I wanted to talk about. So I just went up to the food bank and I decided to go super early because I've been up since 3. So um, I went up there and I got in line I think I was in line like at 7:10. And so I really was way up at the front. I couldn't believe it. And Nell still is. She's giving me attitude. She'll just let herself out. Sometimes she'll shut the door. But anyways, so when I was up there, there was 2 other women who were older women. I don't know, maybe around my age, maybe a little older. I don't know. It's hard to tell because people age so differently. But so that I got to talking to them, and one started complaining about just health condition after health condition. And she had the Dovic and it made her so sick. All her hair fell out and she's been so sick ever since. And, I took this opportunity to just really start giving some, dropping some breadcrumbs. Oh my gosh, I dropped so much breadcrumbs. I planted so many seeds. And it was luckily that she started talking about medical stuff, which I know a little bit about. So I started telling her even about my own experience and stuff. And even another girl walked up when I started saying I won't even take aspirin or anything. And because the one lady was talking about all her nerve pain and all this aches and stuff. And so I started telling her about to get CBD, and then she could even get it online and it's cheaper because she said she can't afford to go to the weed store. And I said, well, you can get the hemp one online and it's way cheaper and it would work. And then this other girl started walking up and she started talking and she started saying that she doesn't take anything, that she only takes THC for anything. And I said, oh, same here. And she said she was on 10 meds and had to go off of them. And so we were having this whole talk, just the whole epidemic of the opioid epidemic and what they do to try and get people addicted, because she's a LNI, a work injury. And so, the one lady, she seemed to know some stuff. So she was joining in on the conversation. And the other one, really gave her some stuff. And then anybody else who was listening to us, because I started filling in a lot of gaps. And so, I don't know. It could just be sitting there like their heads spinning like, what the hell is this crazy lady talking about? But when seeds are planted, they will sprout. The universe makes sure there will be somebody else who will come in line and we'll talk about it again, or you'll see it later that day or something. That's how it works. It will start building on information. That's why, we don't have to do that much to really wake people up. I mean, you can't. Literally, it's like taking a kitten and trying to pry its eyes open and making it, keep its eyes open. It's impossible. You can't make someone see who's not ready to see. But, the more seeds you plant, then the universe comes in and waters them and everything else. So anyways, that was it. It made me feel so good. I felt so excited. And, funny enough, I guess yesterday I did a post. And so I was, earlier when I had recorded, and then I said I was waiting for the UPS. And so I'm sitting in here and I started doing some other stuff. I started rearranging my bedroom and doing the sheets and stuff. So I started, just doing stuff. And so Stella was outside. She was waiting for the truck. And she'll sit and watch. She can tell when I'm watching for something. Besides, she likes to just sit out and guard anyways and, notify me if something's up. So I was doing something and she just started barking and barking. And so I thought, well, maybe it was the UPS, but she kept barking for so long. I thought, okay, someone's at the end of my driveway. And then I got a flash of the Secret Service again being down there. And then it kind of is like, I don't want somebody to come up and then, shoot my dog because they're going to come in, or whatever. That's what these people are like, 100%. I do not trust any of these officials. And so anyways, when she did, I could see a white truck parked at the end of my driveway. And I thought maybe it was a water district truck. And so I started trying to see, and I was like, well, that's strange because they were just out last week and came in the yard and went, and they said that they were spray painting our boxes. Our places where they go and read the water, where they can go and turn it off. And so I was like, well, that's weird. Like, why are they all of a sudden doing that? Because to me, the water district or the water suppliers or whatever, it's like the same thing with the garbage and the mafia, as far as I'm concerned. So it's like the same kind of deal. It's corrupt as fuck. And so I was like, okay, well, that's suspicious why you're out here doing that all of a sudden. And so when I saw the water truck out there again, I thought, well, that's really weird. Why would they be back again? And so I had some compost sitting on the counter, and I decided to grab it, and I'd walk down towards the end of the driveway and put it in there. And that would, show Stella I was paying attention because she's trying to alert me. So I get my compost and I start walking down there, and I see the truck, and then I see the lettering on the side, and it looked like the same way as when how military writes, like Army, that kind of way it looks. And so the writing looked like that on the side. So I was trying to see more like what kind of official truck is out here. Like, I'm so suspicious. So, hold on. So I'm so suspicious that, I don't want a fucking military truck out here. Like, no. And so I start trying to look, and see, and they start driving. And I could see they had, one of those bright orange vests over their clothes, like that you would see out, somewhere or whatever. And so on the side of the truck, it said, and in these big letters, in the letters, it looked like it was kind of like camo or something. I don't think it was flowers, but it looked kind of like some sort of camo print or something. And then in this big, block kind of Army writing, and it said USIF. And so I was like, US? What's the IF? I mean, I could get the US, but what's the IF? And so I was like, well, that's weird. And so I couldn't read the other writing, and he drove right when I got down there. So when he drove, I was trying to watch, but he only went and turned a U-turn at the neighbors next to me. He turned a U-turn and came back past me. And so he drove right past me, and I'm at the end of my driveway. And so I could see his truck perfectly fine. Then underneath this USIF, it said UN infrastructure. And I was just like, what? What in the hell? And so I started kind of like, got like this rush of kind of like, wasn't like panic or kind of like excitement or something, like, okay, this is weird. And so I, needed to talk to some outreach, so because I could say it to my neighbors, and it's just like, oh yeah, so what's the big deal? Like, nobody is concerned about shit. I swear to God. And I think Joe could come and take a crap on someone's lawn and they wouldn't even notice. And so, but if a dog does, boy, they'll be out there. So, anyways, I came in and I did a TikTok real quick. And it's so funny because you just never know which ones are going to go viral. And I'm not even sure what viral is, but when you're getting like 100,000 views and less than, I think, like when you get them like 100,000 views in like 14 hours or something, it's intense. And you get lots of comments and lots of people talking and asking questions, and it's always unexpected when it happens. Sometimes you'll do one and you'll think, oh, this will really catch on, people are going to want to hear this, and then especially for me, it'll just sit there. And another people again today telling me, oh, I'm so glad to find you again. Yeah, and this is the third time I followed you. So many people, like, they go in and follow me, and the platform kicks them off. And I see them do it on YouTube all the time. They are always kicking off people that follow you, and so it's hard for them to find you again. And then I wonder sometimes if it's certain particular people who they know are looking for certain information, and then they just keep some of us separated from each other. It just seems like there's something suspicious about the whole fucking thing. So, anyways, when in the comments, so I had a whole bunch of guys say, well, that's a utility marking truck, I've seen them. One guy started telling me that's not what it says. It says USIC, and underneath it says US infrastructure. I was like, dude, I'm standing right here with them feet looking at it, and you're telling me what I'm seeing? That really started messing with my head. Like last night I started getting like feeling MK Ultra, like, like it's telling me what I saw. Like I didn't see what I saw. It was like, I know what I saw. It gave me like a heart attack when all of a sudden it says UN infrastructure. And I know that we are in where I'm at, where I'm located. We're in that 100-mile territory from the coastline, that the U.S. government said that they is not their territory anymore. It's open territory or something. That's why people need to just go in and do a fucking rush and take over the land, because they're doing it so these other entities can come in and take over, I assume, because any attack on our shoreline, they can say, hey, don't look at us. We can't do anything about it. That territory is not ours, and 75% of the population is in that 100-mile territory that they're talking about. So, who knows what they have planned, but it's very unsettling to see a truck that says UN on it at all. And if it's somebody's just their LLC corporation or whatever the hell it is, and they think that that is a good, catchy name, you better rethink your shit, man. You don't want to have UN written on anything. And then when I went and looked it up, so before I did my post, I went and looked it up, what the letters meant. And it said that it was United States Immigration Fund. And I was like, well, that's weird. Why would it have anything to do with an immigration fund? And I was like, that's weird. And so then I saw other people talking about that, and talking about that there's this whole thing about this money that is going for all of these people who are crossing. I don't know, apparently they're crossing all illegal, but they're shipping. I guess they're setting up to bring a whole bunch of the Ukrainian U people over as refugees or something. People were saying, like, I don't know. I have no idea what the hell. And a whole bunch of different people. Well, it was funny because how many people were like, oh, where's the evidence? Why didn't you have your phone on you? It's like, what? It's so weird. Like, I guess that's where we are in society. You need to have your phone on you at all times, and you need to catch actual footage, because nobody will believe what comes out of your mouth if you don't have video evidence. But even if you have video evidence, then, oh, well, you probably photoshopped it. So it's just mental. You either believe or you don't believe, as far as I'm concerned. But so a whole bunch of people who were spread out all over. Tons of people were like, where are you? Some people were in a panic. Oh, nice. Don't even say what state you're in. What? How dare you? I was like, God, sorry. I was kind of like freaking out here. You see a truck that says UN driving, and, for some of us, like I've said, who are paying attention, it is very on edge. I mean, we know shit is about to go down. We know things are at a very crazy position, and anything could happen at any time. Like, I was expecting fires, then I was expecting a windstorm, then I was back to fires, and the weather is still just jacked, whatever they're doing. But they did clear the smoke, because I know that they had to see through that the smoke was not giving them the the outcome that they wanted for the weather system, because you need the hot and cold to smash together. And they're creating all this shit artificially. So anyways, I was expecting an unnatural disaster so that we would be evacuated. And so then when I saw that yesterday, then I was like, oh man, they could totally, where I'm at, they could totally close this off. I've seen this in movies, and I am sure they have done this to other places. And it would not surprise me at all for them to do it here, is to block off an area and call it quarantined, and nobody's allowed to pass those places. And then in small communities like that, it's real easy to take them over. So I don't know. To me, it's just as concerning. I don't know, if it means anything or not. But it is weird how so many other people are seeing those trucks all around in their cities and towns and stuff. Other people are seeing them. And how in the hell does the UN get to drive around in trucks that look official? And just like, yeah, we're from the UN, we're here, doing your infrastructure. I mean, we're sold out. We were sold out long ago. We were sold out as soon as the tag stopped saying made in America. And, and it goes back, from the information being disclosed, Eisenhower sold us to the aliens for technology. And he may have had pressure put on him. Maybe he was a good guy. I don't know. This is how this system works, though. It takes a lot in a person to be put in a bad situation and still choose to go in a certain direction and not be sucked down by the current of what is happening with these people. It's an energetic thing. And so one thing though that I thought was really cool, because I couldn't even keep up with all the comments. I mean, there becomes a part where you're just so like, there's no way. I mean, they're going so fast, you can't get to them all. And then it's kind of frustrating when you got one after another. What state? Like, it's like, dude, do you read the comments? It's in there about 100 times. What state and the area? It's like, oh my God. But it's quicker to write Washington State than it is to go in and write, like, go look in the comments. God. But anyways, so the thing I think is cool is because I do believe in this whole white hat theory, and and the whole thing with that 17th letter, I know it had to do with just waking us up to get us to ask the questions. And I'm seeing more people now putting that out there. Like, yeah, it just got us to ask questions. Where did people come up with this is fake? How can you tell anyone something is fake? They got them to ask the questions, look up the information, see the truth, and then you want to say it's fake? Like, what are you talking about, fake? And then there was another person I had just seen, and they were saying how they thought it was fake. They were like, I thought it was so fake. And then he got into listening to somebody talking about something, and when they started showing about these dates and those I don't remember what they're called. They're by number, and they're like posts or something. Like, I think they call them like post 540, post 322 or whatever. They all have numbers. And this is what I found. This is what got me where I was like, oh my God, this is real. Is when they were doing all the dates around the RBG thing and stuff, and how things were like, I was like, oh my gosh, this is real as shit. Where somebody's coming up with this isn't real. And then that's where I was like, okay, so they have looking glass. There's no fucking way they could be this accurate without it. And so to me, I completely believe in the NSA, that they, when the dark started taking over so much, there was not enough light. And so the light, it was very hard to find more light because the dark had become so overtaking. And so much espionage and corruption and greed, and how many people will sell their souls for a couple bucks, you know? I just, one of these movies I just watched, a girl, somebody paid her $1 million. Well, then they ended up not paying her, but they were going to pay her $1 million to kill her best friend and videotape it. And so she did. People have no value of what's real. They only value money, which is paper, which isn't real, which only buys you more artificial fake shit. So, you know, it's crazy what people will do for something that isn't even real. And anyways, so in the this one guy, he said that he started listening to this person on this breakdown about the queen, and they started pulling out this look at post 322, look at post 5, and he said they started pulling all these out, and he was like blown away. He was like, this is 100% real. There's no way they could be this accurate on what they were saying. That's the thing, is you go listen to some of that stuff and it's like, this is fucking real. So I think that the NSA started trying to formulate a plan, and I think it did include, you know, certain generals and stuff, certain people who were in the system who could see what was going on. And I think that they started trying to come together, and if somebody reached out or something, you know, and showed themselves, like waved a white flag in some way to show that they were you know, needing help or something, that the NSA would come in and help. But, you know, a lot of people have ended up dead over the situation too. So, you know, I mean, it was a dangerous, dangerous situation to be in. But I think that they did, you know, at some point formulate a big enough group with a far enough stretch and a good enough plan. And I do think that Trump was a part of the plan, and that the reason that from what I understand, the reason that he ran was because they knew he had integrity and he could afford to pay for his own stuff. They couldn't afford to pay for anything of his. And he had so much charisma, and so many people could relate to the stuff he talked about, that it started a movement. And, you know, but I think they knew all that stuff from Looking Glass. I think that they knew what was going to happen. And that's why it always seems like they're like 2 steps ahead. Like all this stuff all through 2020 that Trump was saying is all come to play out. Well, it's because they knew. They knew what was going to happen. I don't think they know to the exact details of every little step, but they know like a vague thing, like, okay, they're going to do something today. Okay, they're going to do, you know, like why they could go over and put a stop to some of these volcanoes they're trying to set off and stuff. Like they know certain things, and so they are doing stuff to try and stop it. And I do think that they are releasing like data dumps or something, like certain people who have a platform, say, and certain information gets released, and then these people start talking about it, and it spreads just like the dropping the breadcrumbs. So it spreads, more people talk about it. But I think what they're doing is monitoring it on social media. I'm positive of this. And they can check by what people talk about, how people respond, like how many, a certain comment, how many likes it gets. Like you can see in these kind of things, it brings all of these people together with all these different opinions. And then the other thing that's interesting too, if you think about this, is that they could go in and drive through our neighborhood and something like that, like in anybody's. I'm not just talking about me, I'm talking about anybody, because I didn't even have, you know, some big platform. You know, I'm sure that this is really pissed off the TikTok overlords. I mean, they're trying to repress me, and all of a sudden something just takes off, and they don't like that. So anyways, and maybe there's a change in power, why I'm even getting it, you know. It's hard to say because we never know what's going on truly behind the scenes. But, you know, in certain places where they know certain people will see things, and then they release that information, or, you know, just drive down the road with the truck that says you in, and maybe some sirens on the top or something. You get everybody going online, you know, just like all this stuff people seeing in the sky. And then everybody's going online discussing it. What is it? What's going on? What is the rainbow clouds? What are these? What are that? And then they can see like who sees the truth, who's questioning things, who is in denial. Like they can read the room. They can tell the climate of the collective. And so so I think that they do some things on purpose. So like you can't just sit here and think like, oh well, this drove by, so that means it's the end, that's it. And some people did go in and they're just like, well, good luck to you. I'd run, be prepared. And I don't know. I mean, it could just very well be they're just because they're building more houses. And they were out there doing explosions till like 8 o'clock at night last night. It was fucking ridiculous. And they are building all these houses, and now these people saying, well, they're going to stick all these immigrants in them, which is so strange because the banks are about to crash and they're not going to be able to. I don't think that people are getting loans on these houses. The house that was just finished behind me, still there's nobody who is I haven't even seen anybody come to look at it. And so it's all an illusion because the builders and the whatever they're called, I've said it so many times I gotta think of what the word is, the builders, the developers, they are all a part of the system. They're at the parties, they're at the perv places. They're part of it. They have their own little weird ritual shit. I doubt there's very many really well-to-do developers who are not involved somehow. There could be some low one, but still, if he pulls enough strings, pads enough pockets, he's going to get what he wants. And so that's how this system works. It's just based on corruption and people having, no integrity and not giving a shit. One of the things up in the food bank line I just found out was this girl, the one who was saying she only uses the THC for any medicine, and she was saying that up there at the gas station that's up at the corner is Starvin' Sam's, and then there's another one across from that. A guy went in and bought both of them so he could drive the prices up. She said already the prices were $5 for a 2-liter soda. It was $8 for a thing of chocolate milk. Like, he's already got the prices so driven up. And I live in a poor community, like poor, like sick people. And I'm not kidding you. How, like, even the lady who we were talking to online, she goes, yeah, well, it's hard if you're poor and you're coming up, getting the free food to get healthy stuff. Then the other woman who was a little bit more, she was like, well, I just buy I just get the vegetables and really try and eat healthy. And, but, she had some health problems too, but still she was more proactive in trying to take care of herself. But some of the vegetables I even picked up, I swear to God, they had some coating on them. They probably, going up and getting government food, they probably give it an extra little bug spray before they even send it out to the place. It's like these people are so corrupt. It's so sickening. So, anyways, the whole thing of how this greed works and how they drive up these prices. The one woman was saying, she just lives in this little 3-bedroom single wide that is completely fallen apart, like a slumlord, and they just keep raising the rent, not doing any repairs, not doing anything to fix it. That's the kind of shit that goes on. And that, is even that they showed that in that show Shameless. But when they were kind of in the inner city and, these poor people who have lived there forever, who that was their area, they could afford it and stuff. And then all of a sudden, the yuppie people, or they oftentimes show it as the gay people go in and then they start building up. And I think now they're not just blaming on that. They also blame it on what do they call them? Hipsters. And so they go in and they buy it, drive up and fix the places up, drive up the prices and drive the people out of the community who were already poor and there's nowhere to go. And so then they are left homeless and stuff. And we've got so many homeless right now. And they keep building these houses when nobody's moving into the houses, but everybody's moving into the streets. People are poor. And people, and you know what is hard is that right now we have all of these people in the streets, and that's growing every day by how many people are losing their homes and stuff. And the street people is just becoming huge. And then, they have all of their trafficking stuff, and people go missing, and then plus the people, the dealers down there, who get them all hooked on these certain new cheaper pills, and then you take one and you're extremely addicted. And then we have all these people who are standing around, without their batteries in. Looks like they've already abandoned their bodies and left the place. So you've got all of those. Well, what is going to happen as soon as a winter storm hits? I mean, most of these people have not been living on the streets. These whole families living on the streets in a snowstorm, is like, man, they can wipe out so many people so quick, and they're gonna do it. I feel sure they're gonna do it. They've got something big planned, something horrible that they're gonna do, and I think it does have something to do with the coastline. I just saw some other person, I think it was a premonition or something about California. Something super bad is gonna go down, and I don't know if it was if they were seeing an earthquake or a flood or something that is going to kill a ton of people. But I have thought, I thought something's going to go down in California for a long time. And same here where I'm at. Because you can kind of tell where something is going to go down when you get into the idea of that everything outrageous is happening to wake people up. Everything absurd, everything horrible is to wake people up. And when you are in a place where most of the people around you are asleep and just living their life as a lab rat in the rat race, just, going in circles trying to survive, and they haven't woken up to the truth, then the places are going to be hit hard, because it's all about the awakening. And, I think that's what a lot of people just don't get. So it is just looking at the places that are full of people who aren't awake. It's their opportunity to wake up. So, and you don't know how bad it's going to get, because they keep doing really horrible things that are killing lots of people. So, you just gotta, it's like you gotta roll with the punches. To me, I'll be so glad when we're on the other side of this. Like, I am so ready to be on the other side of this shit, and, you know, um, and I feel like, I've done all this stuff right. Like, I've got food. Like, if they close us off, I would be able to survive. I'd be able to survive months, I think. And, it'd be kind of a bummer, like, to be locked down here. Like, but anything, like, even if they did a fire and evacuated us, and, they destroy our houses, and then we're all homeless too, right, in winter. Like, and then whatever happens, see, you just got to know that you came for that, and you got to just start working on the surviving, and, seeing what it is you're supposed to be learning from the experience. And to me, I mean, I don't know, because I'm already awake, so I don't know, you know, I mean, when I'm around all these people who aren't awake, it's like what needs to happen for them is what different than what needs to happen for me. But, maybe I'm going to be here and witness a lot of horrible shit. Like, I don't know. I just, I would love to just be able to skip over all this and be able to just look back on it instead. It is hard to experience. There's no doubt about that. So, anyways, I think that it is, you got to just be on high alert, I say, to just be paying attention, pay attention to the trucks that are driving around. I have no idea why a truck would say UN infrastructure on it. And to me, that's the concern, is that we have other governments coming in and just going around like they're here being the government. Like, the UN should not be deciding anything about our infrastructure. And, it makes a lot of sense about why they're jam packing all these houses so close together, right up against this side of this hill, not making any more entrances. It's so easy to close us in. So easy. And, I don't know. It's what they like to do, is take out, whole towns at a time. It saves time and money, I guess. So anyways, I'm not worried about death or dying, because I know that's not real. That doesn't exist. So it's, it's the movie, it's the part that we play in the movie. And my part is obviously to talk about it. And I think it really helps me personally, because I have all of this stuff in my head, and I don't have anybody to talk about it with. And even when I try and talk to anybody around here about anything, they're just, oblivious. They have no clue. And people are willing to accept so much abuse. When that girl was talking about the guy at the gas station doing that, I said, we need a boycott. Why? We need to stop shopping there. Everyone needs to stop shopping there. He's driving up the prices. We've got to put a stop to it. Let him go bankrupt, but people just accept abuse and just would rather bitch and complain about it. I've seen this since I was young, when I started speaking out about the government. And people were just like, it was just a bunch of people who wanted to sit on the couch and complain about shit and not do anything about it. And I was just like, oh my gosh, this is so mental. That's why I thought the Wall Street protest was the best thing in the whole wide world. People were getting so upset about it. It's like, finally, people are off the couch complaining about something, instead of just sitting there complaining all day. Like, god damn, get up and do something. Get up and take a stand on something. So anyways, there's a lot more people that are taking a stand, a lot more people who are awake and noticing and coming together and talking about it. And that's all. We just keep going in that direction. It's all going to work itself out, but we do still have some more traumas to get through. And, I wish they'd hurry and just fucking crash these banks, because I think that is going to be a huge relief to the system, to our psyches, to the energy pull that we are in right now. So, I don't know. I'm sure, like here, the weather is so shitty. And, there's been evacuations all up and down the West Coast. And one of the things that I had seen where people were saying the fire just came out of nowhere, and then suddenly they're evacuating us. And, that's what they do. And then where do we go? And I'm sure they want to herd us all into the camp. So, just like they will herd you into the Astrodome and leave you there to die and be raped and kidnapped and everything else. It's just like, oh my God. And we know the only way out of the camps, once they start going, is to be separated from your body. So I won't be entering any of those. I'll go find a fucking cave somewhere. There's a guy who I follow, and he goes out walking in the woods sometimes, and he found these two caves, and he said it's so weird. And he's in the Appalachian, and he said he'd go out and sit and do this meditation all the time in this certain place. And then all of a sudden the other day, he goes and starts walking in two giant caves that look like giants could live in them. And he thinks that same way too. Like he got so freaked out he wouldn't even go up close to them. Because it is like, if you watch anything about Missing 411, then shit is going on in the fucking forest. And that's just another lie that they keep. They don't tell people, well, don't go to the national parks. That's a setup. That's a fishing pond for certain people. Just like universities is a fishing pond for certain people. The parks in the camp places, hiking trails, all that stuff is hunting grounds. And it's all, people would be caught if it wasn't allowed. They allow this shit to go on. because they do have to give a certain amount. It's just like what I was talking about, throwing them down in the volcano. That's what we are. We're just like an offering. Here, take that one. Here, take that one. Well, you got a little one the other day. You know, we like the little ones. These people, they're the worst. So, anyways, shit's just gonna keep going crazy and keep, you know, until it turns the other direction, as far as I'm concerned. And I really hope, you know, especially we're getting close to that Simpsons Day, 9/23, I think, or 9/22. And I heard things about 9/20. So I don't know. We're getting close to those dates, so we can only hope that something is really gonna rock this world and turn us the other direction. That's what I'm looking forward to, as this is draining. So, and I'm really am excited for the future. I'm excited to, you know, for this year, my 61st year. I don't want to just spend it another year locked in my house in the dead of winter, just waiting for spring, and then spring we're under complete weather assault. So, and then all the chemicals that they put out in the goddamn air, and if they're dropping little weird neobot worms on us and stuff, you go and look up stuff about that will freak you out. There's a lot of stuff I just go past, like, no, I'm not listening to this. But something about these little neobots can cross the blood-brain barrier. They know where to gather. They do some at the frequency. They gather them in one place, and they mind control and all sorts of weird stuff, you know. So is that part of the plan? Just zombie apocalypse, turn everybody on and make them start doing things? Like, fuck, I don't know. I just don't fucking know. I feel pretty certain we've got some, you know, Agent Smiths walking around behind the veil, fucking with some of us. And in that post, so many people are talking about that. And their dogs and, you know, all sorts of crazy things happening in people's houses. And some of them could be ghosts, and some could be spirits, some could be family members. I don't know. But I do know that I have seen enough information now that I'm pretty certain that we do have some astral travelers of some type, which I would say would be, you know, CIA or agents of some type of organization that is meant to keep us in line, especially for anybody waking up thinking that they can find their way out or pass on information. They're going to keep it, you know, they just want to keep everything the same. And it's so weird because nothing is going to stay the same. I know they know that we're headed for a catastrophe. So I don't know. We'll see. It's just, you know, just got to keep staying strong and, you know, stay vigilant of being safe and really taking care of yourself. Listening to those people up there in the line was just like, you gotta detox. You gotta get the chemicals out. You gotta quit taking more chemicals in. And any of the prescriptions that they give you is to make your body dependent on it. Makes your body stop working the way it's supposed to. And then you need more pills, and those pills make you sicker and sicker and sicker. You know, it's just it's a system that will destroy you, not make you healthy or not make you better. And it, you know, it goes all through our mental health, our whole self-identity. It's all of it is under attack. So anyways, you know, I do think that we are getting closer and closer every day that we go on like this. We are a day closer to change. So, you know, each day just is another day. Just get through this day. And, you know, I just try and stay focused a lot on the good stuff, the future that I want for myself, the future that I see and who I see it with and all that. I just stay focused in those little fairy tale land. So anyways, I will talk to you later. And I could come back and say some more stuff. I would have, I did leave that little short one of that TikTok that I did. But then it just became like, oh my gosh, it was like instantaneously everybody. So, you know, there's enough people who are on social media who are paying attention and, are nervous about what's going on. Just like everybody should be. The people who aren't are going to be, I think they're going to feel shame and embarrassed that they were so oblivious that they didn't even have any idea about the stuff going on. Because, I mean, it's not only just outrageous, it is, it's horrible. Like horrible stuff is going on. So anyways, I'll talk to you later. Bye.